What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Aris.
I'm your other host, Elijah Venencia. Usually, I go into a little bit of a spiel here, but we got something huge going here. Our first sponsorship ever. Jonathan, I'm going to let you get into it.
Today's episode of Second Avenue Podcast is sponsored by Mitchell Grove Tax and Accounting Services. If you've been around the pod, you know our boy Mitchell. We've mentioned him many times. You may not know he is one of the finest accountants you can get in Central Illinois.
He
However,
is the
if you're
finest.
if you're not even local to Central Illinois, he can take care of you. He can do everything remotely that he could do in person. For all your tax needs, he's got you. If you have not filed your taxes yet this year, hit him up. Shout out to the boy. He's taking care of me. He is the official tax preparer of Second Avenue Podcast. When we're blowing up one day, he's going to be taking care of our
Uh,
taxes. All
he's,
that
he
money
is,
coming in, we trust. He's on the books. He's on the Second Ave books in the future.
yeah, definitely. He's getting some crazy write-offs. Shout out Dirty Mitch G. It's the boy. So, go get your taxes done with him. Get into a little bit of an intro here. March Madness. We're recording this on Friday. Two crazy upsets: Yale over Auburn, and Colorado over Florida. That's not like a crazy, crazy one, but a first four team. So that's a good one. Illinois won yesterday, so feeling good going to the weekend, trying to get that first Sweet 16 since '05, I think. So it's four. So,
Mm.
um, yeah. How's your bracket looking so far?
Man, my bracket was perfect until Kentucky. I was feeling so good. I picked all those upsets, Duquesne, Oregon. We made some good picks here. It was a pretty good looking bracket. I was feeling really good going into it. Then Kentucky lost. I had Kentucky going into the championship. I was rocking with
Ooh,
Kentucky heavy. And it's all, I don't watch college basketball like that. Actually, no, I think Tennessee.
okay. Yes.
I either have Tennessee or Kentucky. I don't know. They're my final four: Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, and UConn. So I guess we'll see. I obviously am not that invested in my bracket if I don't even know who I have in my championship. I've been saying it's Kentucky. I thought it was Kentucky. I have been going pretty far. That's all I remember. I'm all in on them. I was all in on them because of the
Yeah.
boy Antonio Reeves, ISU Rollbirds. He was there when I was there. He was like a freshman or whatever when I was like a senior, I guess. And then in grad school, I think he was around for 2 years. They transferred to Kentucky.
Mhm.
Love watching him go off. He had 27 yesterday. Good game. He did his thing. The rest of the guys, didn't do so hot, but it was an unfortunate loss. It really did mess up my bracket pretty heavy, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Brackets, they're just meant to get cooked. I'm in last place right now, but I got a lot of possible points in like our family poll. So we'll keep you guys updated. Obviously next week's episode we'll give you some more clarification, see where everything's at. I feel like that'll really be telling on where we're at with it. So I'm okay so far. I feel like we're both pretty okay. I don't know that UConn's winning it all. That's all I know.
I have them too. I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch college basketball like that. I have like a couple teams that come March I'm always rocking with. UConn is
Mm.
one of them. I didn't even know they were like that good this year. I knew they won last
Yeah,
year.
they're different.
Yeah. And so when I saw that they were that good and they're one of my March squads, I was like, okay, I'm rocking with UConn. It's always UConn, UCLA, and sometimes Michigan, depending on the vibes. Like when Jordan Poole was there, when
Ooh, crazy.
DJ Wilson
Okay.
was there, I was rocking with Michigan. They had some boys. Uh, Big fan. But, there's nobody on Michigan today that I'm like, oh yeah, my boy. So maybe I'm off on Michigan,
Yeah.
but I had boys there. So anyway, we'll keep you guys posted on our brackets. Let us know in the comments who you got winning. Let us know how your bracket's looking so far. But speaking of brackets, I think
Yeah.
it's time to get into the conclusion of our March Madness. I say conclusion, although it is only the second. I'm very excited about this one. I guess before we get into that, though, we got to say if you listened last week, we promised a special guest this week. Unfortunately, not going to happen. Next week, we're going to have that special guest. Our boy Mauricio Los Fools will be making the debut next week. He went to Rolling Loud. We'll be talking about Rolling Loud. We'll have some other like main topic to tie it all together. Maybe you and him just talking your stories from Rolling Loud.
Yeah,
It'll be
we'll
a
figure
good one.
something out. Yeah, you guys will
It'll
obviously know by the title, but we're gonna it's gonna be a banger.
it's gonna be a good one. But stay tuned for that. We're excited you're here today, though. And we're excited to get into this new bracket, classic iPhone apps and games. This is a very nostalgic bracket. We got eight. We only did eight because we thought we were going to talk Rolling Loud for a while and we didn't want to go too long. So, unfortunately, this might be a little bit short of an episode, but we're going to make it good for you guys that do tune in. So, we got eight apps. Let's talk about them. We got Flappy Bird, Fruit Ninja, Angry Birds, Jetpack Joyride, Subway Surfers, Cut the Rope, Doodle Jump, and Temple Run. These are staples.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
This is a pretty hot list of apps back in the day. If you had these on that iPod Touch, oh, you were running it. Yeah, I don't even like saying
Uh,
iPhone because it was not iPhone. It was iPod Touch
Yo, it was
for me at
8 GB
least.
iPod Touch, 4 GB iPod Touch. This is like Second Avenue. Second Avenue. I remember playing all these games there. So I remember on my iPod, I didn't have Flappy Bird. I think you and Lauren both had Flappy Bird. So that was I was always grabbing yours. And before I had an iPod, I was always grabbing your guys' as well. So
Yeah, you were a little
um,
finesser.
yeah. So it brings back a lot of memories. I'm ready to get into it.
I am too. Let's get into it. The first matchup we got Flappy Bird versus Fruit Ninja. These aren't seeded, so it's not like the one seed versus the last seed. We just random it. It's no particular matchups. Excited to get into it though. Let's start it off. Flappy Bird, Fruit Ninja. Who you got here? I think this is a very interesting matchup.
I mean, at the time, Flappy Bird was like crazy. It had crazy hype because they took it away. But
hmm
I mean, which game did I enjoy playing more? Fruit Ninja every time. So I'm wrong with Fruit Ninja here.
I'm also rocking with Fruit Ninja. It's crazy because Flappy Bird might have the highest
Oh,
peak of any of these
yeah,
apps. Flappy Bird was such a wave. Like I remember Flappy Bird was just the talk for I mean, I don't want to say months, but maybe a couple months. Like it did not have that long of a run. They took it away. It was wild. I just remember it's like the most simple game,
yeah.
but it's
Oh,
so hard. You could not get that high of a score. I would just get so pissed. I would get to like 45 and I'd be sweating and it was just cool. Always a hustle to get a high score. I remember my boy Skiz was like disgustingly good at it.
that
This
doesn't
is
surprise me.
and no, he's just a gamer. Whatever you put in front of him, he'll figure it out. He's a gamer. But I this is going to be a good reference for the local people. This is a nostalgic reference as well. The Twitter page 217 Problems. Do you remember that page?
Yeah, yeah,
They used to just post, different, jokes, memes, whatever related to our area. If you're not from the 217, that's our area code. Different jokes that only people from the 217 would get, whatever. They'd get different like stories about towns, things like that, whatever. One thing they did around this time, I remember they posted something like first person to get to 217, they'd give something, I don't remember. But Skiz got like, oh, he got high, like I think he might have
you got
broke three.
2,170.
Yeah, he I probably about 300 though. I mean, he was doing his thing. So he tweeted at them. I think they thought it was fake or something, if I remember right. Like they didn't give him whatever the prize was because
Damn.
they thought like 217 was like an unattainable score at that time when the game was fresh. But now that boy Skiz was different. My other random memory of Flappy Bird was I was at the arcade in Denver this summer. I'm a grown ass kid. I'm outside. I'm still at the arcade. Yeah, I love it. It's a vibe. We were there with a family and they had a Flappy Bird game and it was just you pushed like a button. It was so much easier than the touchscreen version and you got one ticket for every thing you got through. That was like the ultimate ticket finesse. Like if I was 12 years old, I would have sat there and I would have pressed and I would have taken that play. I would have wiped that place
Yeah,
clean. I would have had an Xbox 360. I would have had something back in the day. I would have been running it. So yeah, Flappy Bird got love for it. Fruit Ninja though, such a better long-term game. Like it had a way better lifespan and it was fun. I love Fruit Ninja. You were just doing these different fruits. I think you had different swords. A big fan of Fruit Ninja.
yeah. Fruit Ninja, it kind of it clears honestly in my eyes.
I think it does too, but I think some people might say otherwise. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's supply and demand type thing. They took it away. That's kind of what brought all the hype. But
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about it was there was a Drake version. You remember that?
yeah, yeah. With it was nothing was the same heads actually, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then there was the Grammys, and I can't remember what song. I think it might have been like trophies. I think I had a song that it played. I don't know. We'll have to find a clip of it and put it on IG. But yeah, that was a classic. Let's get in the next matchup here. We got Angry Birds versus Jetpack Joyride.
Ooh, this one's really tough. I was really rocking with both these games. but I could go Angry Birds. Like Angry Birds has a movie. Like
That's
this is
true.
if there was a one seed, it would be Angry Birds just based off that. Like Angry Birds is it's still around. They have multiple movies. It's a franchise. So and I mean a great game at the time. Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Star Wars. I mean, those were always really fun games. So Jetpack Joyride, I mean, I kind of give his flowers here, but Angry
It
Birds is
was
just
fire.
different.
I'm on Team Angry Birds as well. Did you have a favorite bird on Angry Birds? Like we rock with the red one, the yellow one,
Red, the red for
black.
sure.
Black was sneaky
No,
fire.
oh, he was fire. He was really good though. You know that was a player.
It was. I remember I went to like a Halloween party when I was in seventh grade, I think, and I needed a Halloween costume, and I was with my mom or my family in Champaign at the mall, and I just wandered into Hot Topic, and I bought an Angry Birds like head as my Halloween costume that year. So yeah, I was rocking with the yellow Angry Bird for Halloween. I don't know what ended up happening to that. I feel like somebody borrowed it one time. Like it was a thing that people associated. Like they're like, oh yeah, he has that. And I think somebody asked me for it one time. Never saw it again. So tragic
Yeah,
loss.
yeah. I mean, you could rock that to this day. You know, we could go to the Angry Bird. Probably the third movie, fourth maybe. We could. I mean, you
Something.
could rock it there. You know, so yeah, that is
Something.
tragic. We'll have to find that. Get the lake back. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Next matchup, we got Subway Surfers versus Cut the Rope. I think this is a really good matchup.
It's pretty easy for me. Subway Surfers clears. I wasn't really ever rocking with Cut the
Okay.
Rope.
I liked
Subway
it a lot.
Surfers, man, oh, that one's still kind of like I feel like I still randomly see people playing Subway Surfers. Like if I on a flight or something, I'll download Subway Surfers and play it. So I am still kind of wrong with that, and I feel like that's another one that's was really huge. Like I kind of outgrew. I mean, we're gonna talk about the other one. Like it was this. I mean, a different game, same concept though, and I feel like it kind of took over on that. So, but we'll get into that.
I like that you brought up the longevity. Like you could still play it on a flight today because that's exactly what I did. On my flight to Boston for No Label this year, I downloaded Subway Surfers and I played it on the flight. I will say I don't have like the attention span to like want to grind a high score like I
Mhm.
used to. I remember like it was so fire because you could like connect with Facebook or whatever and you'd see like when you're passing your friends.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
that
God,
was
I was
fire.
hustling. I was trying to get that high score. I was trying to be the top of the friends leaderboard. But today I was playing it. I say today, whatever, a couple months ago, I was playing it. My heart just wasn't in it
Yeah.
anymore. But it
Mhm.
was kind of fun still.
Yeah. It's like I'm on a flight. I can't really do anything else, so I'm a rock with it. So it's one of those things. But yeah, I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, I will say though, I mean, I love seeing the longevity. It's like a very popular game still, especially on TikTok. Like the split screen
Oh
TikToks where
yeah.
it's the actual video and then it's Subway Surfers. I could watch those all day. Like that is such a vibe.
For sure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. And yeah, like that is Subway Surfers. That's a we'll see where it gets. But bringing in that point, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch, somebody play Flappy. Actually I might. I might watch like all these apps if they it is Subway Surfers, that's the one, but all these have the potential that they could be that. Like they're the
Yes.
perfect, just like mind numbing, just watch, just if you're watching an Angry Bird just get shot and boom, blow up. I could see that as the other split screen too. I could see all these. So, um, but Subway Surfers,
Subway.
that's the one. That's the gold standard for that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it,
that's
it's
Soldier Boy.
yeah, it is. It did it first for sure. Let's get the next matchup here. We got Doodle Jump versus Temple Run.
Temple Run was crazy. Doodle Jump's really like I understand that I've had Doodle Jump cut the rope, but I wasn't really rocking with them. Yeah, I mean I feel like Temple Run that clears here. Obviously Temple Run like I remember skating rink like fucking getting a high score on that. Like people like all your friends around you and shit, you're sweating. And yeah,
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
Temple Run was one of the ones. Like, I feel like that at the time was one of the more popular ones. And like, even now, I see some Temple Run clips. Obviously, Flowers, the Subway Surfer, Soldier Boy did it first, but I'll see the same thing with Temple Run as well.
Same. Yeah, I'm going Temple Run here. Doodle Jump was fire. But Temple Run, like that was one of the ones, and it has a good matchup next round. For Temple Run, all I'll say is like I associate that bringing it back to the music centric podcast we are. I have to give it like the album I associate with that, and that is the Carter
Mhm.
4 by Lil
Four,
Wayne.
yeah.
I associate that so heavy with this app, and I don't even know why. I think I was just listening to the Carter 4 and you playing Temple
Yeah.
Run. The Carter 4 was the first album I ever bought on iTunes, full album. And so yeah, I was always bumping that, always playing the game. One other thing I'll say about Temple Run, it was such like a hot talking point. We'd be talking about Temple Run high scores all the time, more so than a lot of these apps, especially during basketball season my freshman year. Oh, what's your score? What's your score? Whatever.
Mhm.
And then there was a glitch. I don't know if you were put on the
Ooh,
glitch.
yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
You do a little right down or something, and you just
Hmm.
ran for forever. I left my iPod Touch plugged in for like a full day and got like a 4 million high score or whatever, just like a flex and be like, oh, 4 million. And nobody believed it was real, but that's what the
Yeah.
stats showed. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, that's what it
I was
was.
lying.
Yeah.
I was lying. The numbers did not.
Yeah, I forgot about that glitch. That was a good one there. Temple Run, shout out. I'm excited for the next matchup with Temple Run.
Yeah. Before we get into that, let's get into the final four on the left side of the bracket. We got Fruit Ninja versus Angry Birds.
I got Angry Birds convincingly, like just based off it is a movie franchise now. I
Yeah.
there's a couple movies I believe. A third could be in the works. Like Angry Birds, like man, it really it took its 10 seconds and I mean ran with it. And now it's I mean megastar still. So I think pretty easily Angry Birds. Although I love Fruit Ninja. Fruit Ninja was probably the one I was maybe not playing more, but Fruit Ninja I always enjoyed playing a lot. So
Yeah, I think I might have been playing Fruit Ninja more, but I'm going Angry Birds too. When you look at Angry Birds, I mean, like you said, it has a franchise surrounding it. And that makes me think, like, what's the comparison? For our generation, is this like our like Mario? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those like that it has a life beyond just the app itself, just like Mario had a life beyond the video game. And I mean, I could see like a Fortnite or something like that taking that in the future. Just these games, it's crazy how much larger than life they become because they're so ingrained into people's lives. But yeah, Angry Birds is one of the ones. Definitely one of those like first apps to be like so
Popping.
popular that
Yeah.
everybody had it.
Mhm.
And I think it definitely deserves to make the championship for that reason. Let's see who it's going to face off against, though. We got our other matchup of the Final Four, Subway Surfers versus Temple Run.
Give me Subway Surfers here pretty convincingly, just based off the like you could view your friend's score. Like that Temple Run was like lacking with the cool stuff that Subway Surfers had. So I feel like Subway Surfers in a way did it better. Temple Run came first, but I mean Subway Surfers just kind of took everything and took it to a whole nother level. Like this the friend thing, that's really what gets me is we like we said, we still play this on whenever airplane mode, that type of thing. But Subway Surfers at the time, man, like you were fucking sweating trying to get past your friends, stuff like that. I feel like that was an aspect that Temple Run lacked. So Subway Surfers was they took it to the next generation, I guess, or to a different. They were ahead of its time. There we go.
Agreed. And I think there's way better longevity on Subway Surfers. People still talk about Subway Surfers significantly more than Temple Run. I'm also going Subway Surfers. I don't know if I officially said that or not, but that is my pick. It will be going to the championship. Subway Surfers, there was way more like customization too. You could buy the different boards, you could be a different character. Subway Surfer or Temple Run, you were just the one guy, you know? I think
Yeah,
I think
not much
maybe
to
in
it.
Temple Run there was like a girl. I think you'd be a couple different
A
people
girl,
maybe,
yeah.
but yeah, no, Subway Surfers like fire. There was like the boxes you could get with the little like different items, power ups. I think it did power ups better than Temple Run. I'm rocking with Subway Surfers here, which sets us up for a pretty interesting championship. Two different games completely. Angry Birds versus Subway Surfers.
I'm Subway Surfers here. And here's my reasoning why I have Angry Birds was you had to pay to get it from the App Store for like Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Star Wars, all those. So Subway Surfers is more accessible, and it's had the better longevity for the game itself. Obviously, Angry Birds has just this whole universe now, the Angry Birds Marvel universe, whatever. But I gotta rock with Subway Surfers here. The tick, like just everything about it. It's TikTok. You view your friends' scores, all that. And like you gave a good explanation there. All the extra stuff, the power up stuff like that. It was a really enjoyable game. So I mean, that's my champion.
It's my champion as well. I think you said basically everything I was gonna say. I'm rocking with
Took
Subway
the words out of your
Surfers here.
mouth.
You took them straight out of my mouth. Subway Surfers is our champion of our classic iPhone, iPod app games bracket. That was fun. I like talking about some of
Yeah.
these. It brought
Yeah,
back some
that
memories.
no, I mean the second half, I mean tied it right in. Um and yeah, I just love when we have those moments because it's full circle then for sure.
Yeah.
And brought back a lot of memories for sure.
Yeah. I want to give a little love to some of these apps that we didn't talk about. We cut it to 8 today. There were 3 that I wanted to talk about that were different than these, and they didn't make the bracket for different reasons. First was Paper Toss. That was like the first one off. Like if we did 9,
Oh,
Paper Toss was going to be on there. Well, if we did like 16, it was going to be one of the next. We were just do 9. But Paper Toss, it was pretty fire, but it's like significantly
so
more
basic.
simple. Yeah. So it just,
Mhm.
I loved it, but I don't think it was going to hang with some of the big dogs here. It was a Cinderella story. It might have got the first round upset, but it was not going to win championship. Paper Toss, fire though. The different, wind speeds blowing the paper, different trash cans, different office settings. What a vibe. That was a very simple app done right. It would definitely like not be as popular today because it was so basic, I don't think, but it
But
was.
it's
It was
ages it so
special.
well. That was
It
fire.
does. It shows off what a classic fresh app was back in the day. Second one I wanted to talk about, Pokemon Go. It obviously was a little bit after this era. It was like more of like summer 2016, 100%, very much so summer 2016. And these are more, this is iPod Touch. This is before I had an iPhone. This
Mhm.
is,
Yeah,
it's a,
there's
it's
no
a,
you didn't have internet walking around,
yeah, this is LeBron versus Michael. This is a very different conversation. Um, but Pokemon Go. Were
fire.
you a
Yeah.
Pokemon Go guy?
Never at the time, but I got in a really big Pokemon Go phase a couple years ago, and now I'm him on there. I don't play it much anymore, but I remember like I played for like a month, and I was like fucking. I have a crazy like lineup. Just a random grind. It was really enjoyable. So I didn't get it at its peak, but I took over.
Pokemon Go was such a movement, man. That was summer 2016, the double XL 2016 freshman class.
The Life of Pablo, the coloring book. I mean, shit like that. Like just great year. I feel like everybody associates 2016 with just a great year. So
Absolutely. And
that was me.
I hate to be stuck in the past, but yeah, what a year.
Yeah, there's like 2016 haters now. Like,
Yeah, there are.
so it's its own thing now. I feel like so we'll have to do something 2016 related soon. We've done, I think, was a songs bracket possibly,
I think so.
but to bring back the nostalgia, we'll have to figure something out for 2016.
Yeah. What a vibe, Pokemon Go. I would basically be going to Danville every night. Me and whoever I was hanging out with, we would go to Danville just to hit more Pokestops. We were such fiends. It was such a good time. There were so many other people though. That was the thing. Like
Oh, for
in
sure.
downtown Danville, there would probably be like at least 50 people sitting there playing Pokemon Go at these different stops. It was crazy. I'd be walking around just trying to hatch my eggs. Like I was such a fiend. I remember going to Champaign even to just play Pokemon Go, just to switch things up. What a vibe. You just had to be there that summer. It was good after that too, though. I played it during COVID, I think. I got back into it just like randomly
It's
for
like
like a
Minecraft. You
month.
just have a little phase every once in a while.
Yeah, I never had my Minecraft phase actually.
Oh, you're missing out.
I know, I guess so, but I don't think I've ever played it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's move on. What's the third one?
The final one is Clash of Clans.
Yeah, that's like his different thing, almost like
It
same
is.
timing, but man, Clash that'd be a good one. Pokemon Go versus Clash might be the championship, the hypothetical championship.
I
It
would
just
agree.
doesn't feel right though. But
Mm-mm.
Clash, I just hopped on Clash for like a month. I'm off it now. I feel like it's one of those things that I play every year or two for like a month maybe and get off it. But Town Hall 12, Max
Whoa,
My
big
11,
dog.
get at me.
Big dog. I think I maxed my 8
Oh
and went
yeah,
to
that was
9.
that
Yeah,
was like
I'm a
eighth
pup.
grade.
I'm a pup. Yeah. I never was too crazy. Like I played it for a while. Always had a clan with the boys. A good story about that. One time we had a clan and our high school soccer coach wanted to join, and we let him in, but one of my friends had a name on there. Let's just say it was not appropriate. And my soccer coach asked who that
Who
was, and
is?
we had to be like,
Yeah.
no, it's
Random.
whoever's cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to throw the blame. Um, Such a wild moment. Being in a clan on a video game with your high school soccer coach, like what other app are you doing that? Only
What
Clash.
vibes?
What a
Yeah.
vibe.
Clash did
Doing
bring like
clan
random
wars.
groups.
Doing clan wars,
Yeah.
he's getting pissed.
Attack.
Like you got a
Yeah.
1 star, taking minutes away. Oh,
Yeah, that is fire though. Clash, I feel like it did bring just random groups. So W Clash is that's such a power. I would love to just actually do a whole thing. Maybe one day, maybe next year we'll do a whole bracket, revise this, and kind of go into just all App Store games. So
yeah, Clashes are just like too big. Some of these games are too big. They've gone on for too long. These on the bracket for the most part were like moments. Like they were good for a
yeah,
couple years, and that's it. Some of them have gone through phases, had a little more longevity, but I think Clash, Pokemon Go, they're in a different league. I think there's probably some others like if you wanted to get into the, Words with Friends, uh, Candy
Madden Mobile was
Crush,
another
Madden
one.
Mobile, like there are games I think have a bigger lifespan than some of the ones we talked about today, but those are very nostalgic. Love giving them some shine. Um, let's move on to the news this week, though. We got some releases to talk about. It is Friday. Sometimes we're bad about listening to the music today. It was hard to avoid one of the new releases. Let's talk about the releases and then we'll get into that specific release here in a minute. This week, we got albums from Metro Boomin and Future. That's the one we're to get to. Sir, Joyner Lucas, Tyla, Olivia Rodrigo with the deluxe, Nems, Junie with the deluxe, Matt Champion. Very excited to get to that one. And then we got some singles from Russ, Lucky, Black, Big Sean, Alicia Keys, Georgia Smith, Lil Mosey, Bryson Tiller, Skywater, Justice and Miguel. Mac Miller has a new song on streaming now. Remy Wolf, Cash Page, G-Eazy, Code of the Friend, Vori. Pretty good week, but ultimately, the thing everybody's talking about is obviously the Metro Boomin and Future project, which is a very good project, but one song in particular. And that obviously is like that with a hidden feature from Kendrick Lamar. What a
Ooh,
moment.
yeah. So we were I was on the way back. I had to drive yesterday, and man, that was a great. That was so. I was a little bit ahead of you, so I was freaking out. Like you hear that first time, it fucking was crazy. It's crazy. I mean, like he emptied the clip, like I told you over text. I hope this is something we get to follow. I hope this is, our Kanye of 2021, or what was that, 2022, I guess.
Yeah,
We get a weekly updates here. You got to respond to that because that is as direct can get. So I'm super interested to see what happens. Obviously, social media it's blowing up. It's literally a moment. We're living in a moment. So um,
absolutely.
just
We are 100%. I was listening to it last night. I got started, like you said, I was a little bit behind you. I was only probably like
like a song behind me.
less than a
Yeah.
song, if that. But the thing that pissed me off so much, I have an app called Beeper, and it tells you when songs come out, but also tells you when people are featured on songs.
Oh.
And that just I never realized how much of a bother that was until last night. So I knew Kendrick was going to be on it. So when you had that reaction, I knew it was about Kendrick, or I imagined it was about Kendrick, but I could
But
have
it still
never
couldn't have
prepared
prepared you.
myself.
Yeah.
No, I was so happy. In the minute, like when I saw Kendrick Lamar's featured, oh my God, I was just shaking my head. I was so mad. And then we get that verse. And I'm like, all is forgiven, all is
Yeah.
forgotten. We got what we needed. That verse was insane. Like you said, he emptied the clip. Calling out first person shooter by name. Can't get more
Mhm.
direct than that. Uh, no, there's no top three. There's just a top me, and that's a bar. A bunch of other good lines throughout that. I would love to see us become a thing, though. Like you said, I would love to get a rebuttal from Drake or J. Cole. I would honestly, I feel like Drake is more likely to come back. What are you feeling him or Cole?
It feels more at Cole though. It feels I don't know, like he has his Drake things there, but everybody has their little beef with Drake, you know. So
Yeah,
it feels people aren't really bringing J. Cole into beefs like that. I mean, that people are talking Civil War. I hope we get that.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
just a lot of sides to be on here, so it's gonna be super interesting to follow. Obviously, we're gonna keep you guys updated.
yeah, we'll see, but it really does feel like a moment. Like there are certain things in music that get talked about for longer than, the year or the moment that they happen. This feels like one of those things because I feel like the butterfly effect that could come from this is, I mean, it's so unknown, but there's so much potential. Like it could lead to so many things. It could lead to another diss track. If Drake comes with another crazy diss track, I mean, he's got a pretty strong track record for doing that. And that would just add to Drake's, discography, give him a little more respect, I feel like. We'll see. It really is kind of uncharacteristic for J. Cole to come back with a shot. He comes through with shots every, nothing crazy though, but to
Yeah,
have
like
him and
subliminals. Yeah.
yeah, but to have him and Kendrick, if they went at each other direct,
Mhm.
I mean, people will be
It's
talking
gonna
about
be
that
so,
forever.
yeah. It's just I'm super excited to follow it. Like I wish we had more. I wish we had more clarity on what's gonna happen. I hope something pops off this weekend. Honestly, I feel like that you can't let it sit there for a week, 2 weeks. You know, you gotta come back now. So, I don't know. It's so hard to tell what's gonna happen. I mean, like you said, Drake, Dismo Drake, he's
He's
very
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good track record there. Obviously, with the Pusha T stuff, I feel like you can't really come back from that diss. But Duppy Freestyle was a solid ass diss. So, and then obviously you know the Meek Mill shit. So, um, super interesting to follow. I mean, we'll keep you guys updated though. Yeah, this is. I hope it's Kanye. We're talking about this every week. I truly hope so. And there's definitely sides to this. Like I mean, this is super exciting off what it could be. I hope it's that. I hope it's not just fizzles out real quick. So
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think Drake dropping W was pretty quick after Daytona.
mm,
Like he didn't wait, he didn't mess around for too long. So, if Drake does decide to strike back, I think it could be in the next week. So we'll see. Uh, a very exciting time. It just feels like something that hasn't been
something's brewing.
felt in music in a long time is being felt, which is great. So this is the place you want to be. We'll be talking about it as it happens. We'll be excited. It's a great time. Some other music to listen to. Obviously, I want to hear that Olivia Rodrigo. I want to hear some other tracks, but that was the one. That was one we had to talk about. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that Future and Metro Boomin album as much as we are. They're going to be at Lollapalooza. We could talk about that a little bit next week. But what a time. Very exciting time. We'll be
What
touching
a
on
time to be
everything
alive.
again. What a time to be alive. We'll be talking about all this again next week. Gonna be a banger with our boy Mauricio. You're not gonna want to miss it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in this week. Have a great one. We will see you guys next Monday. Peace.
Peace.